Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce, your camera's slightly off and it's going to
I
bother me all
know.
night, but we don't have time to fix it now. Welcome to Third
It's
Down
terrible.
Thursdays. My name is MJ Hurley. I am here with Coach Bruce, as always. Real quick, before we have Mike Tannenbaum from ESPN in, Bruce, you were at opening day today, and
I
give
was,
me a
yes.
60-second description of the Cubs opening day win.
All right, so 60-second description. It was absolutely amazing having a regular opening day again. The smells were the same, everything was the same, and to have the fact that you were able to kind of have fun with other fans and be able to talk to other people and stuff like that, absolutely amazing. What made it even better was the fact that Kyle Hendricks came out and pitched an absolute gem. And the Cubs were able to pull out a win. And Ian Happ did really well today. And go figure, this is, I'm sure that. So Mike's listening right now, and he's going to hear what I'm about to say. But I whatever. This is what the show is. The fact that I'm having beers sitting right here, he kind of gets it already. But my wife really loved Ian Happ for whatever reason. She was
That
legit.
doesn't surprise me, so does my
She
fiance.
she was legit checking out Ian Happ like crazy. But no, it was absolutely amazing. It was fun. It was really cool to be a part of that experience. This is the 7th year in a row that my wife and I, aside from the COVID year, that my wife and I have gone to opening day at Wrigley Field. So much fun, great experience. Was able to put the lilies at the Harry Carey statue that I've done since my mom passed away too. So it was really cool. It was a fun experience, and the Cubs to get a win, for me to hear "Go Cubs Go," it's great stuff.
Wonderful. Love to hear it. And with that, we are going to bring in Mike Tannenbaum. Mike, can you hear us, sir?
Mike, do you hear us? Mike? Mike check. Mike?
I don't think.
I don't know if he.
Okay, can you hear me?
There we go. I hear you now.
There we go.
All right. How you guys doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you, sir?
Doing well, thanks.
Awesome.
Bruce, kick us off.
All right, Mike. So we're gonna jump right into it. Well, first of all, Mike, if our viewers don't know who you are, and I don't know how the hell they wouldn't, please introduce yourself to them and let them know what you've been up to and what you're currently doing.
Yep, Mike Tannenbaum. Great to be with you guys. I'm with ESPN, their on-air general manager, and fortunate enough to work in the NFL for a couple of decades.
Yeah, and you do great work. I was very fortunate enough, I guess, last week to read about your predicted draft picks for the upcoming NFL draft. Has anything changed that you want to do a change up on that or anything like that, Mike, or no?
Not really. Obviously, the one big news this week, guys, was the Philadelphia New Orleans trade, where the Saints moved up a couple spots in the first round, and then in addition, Philadelphia and New Orleans swap picks in terms of this year, next year, and Philadelphia also got a third-round pick this year and a second-round pick in 2024. But I think the essence of what we put out a week ago probably hasn't changed.
Fair enough.
Mike,
So,
what do you think? Sorry to cut you off, Bruce.
no problem.
Mike, what do you think of that trade? A lot of people think that Philly is loading up for a quarterback next year. Saints might be loading up for a quarterback this year. It was a bit of an odd draft trade. What did you think of it, and what's your analysis there?
Well, from the New Orleans side, I think one, they were trying to get in front of the Chargers. I thought it was more for an offensive lineman, to be candid, that they wanted to get in front of the Chargers, knowing that they just lost Terran Armstead to the Dolphins. Maybe there's another move here that they want to go up. But, Jameis Winston was 5-2 last year when he was healthy, guys. And clearly, if I read it, and maybe I'm wrong, that they were happy with Winston because next year there's 5 teams that have 2 first-round picks in the 23 draft. All 5 of those teams probably need quarterbacks. So if you're the Saints, you're going to next year with no first-round pick and 5 teams with 2 first-round picks. So whatever you're doing at quarterback, you got to feel comfortable not only for this year, for next year. I think for Philadelphia, what they're saying is, hey, we got to the playoffs last year, rookie head coach, Jalen Hurts. Let's see what happens. And now we have 2 first-round picks. Now, a long time ago, I was at the Jets. We had 4 ones in 1 year, and all those contracts expire at the same time. It's not ideal either. So I think from a strategic planning standpoint, if you're Philadelphia, having 2 ones in consecutive years is probably a more judicious use of assets and from a salary cap allocation than having 3 ones in 1 year.
Awesome. One of the things that I did see in your draft, and I'm going to make it more, I guess, Chicago centric and NFC North centric. I saw you had the Detroit Lions picking Sauce Ahmad Gardner first with their pick, second with the Detroit Lions. So you really think that the second back-to-back years of going with corners first for the Detroit Lions is an ideal situation for them?
So I was fortunate. I've worked with Aaron Glenn a couple times in my career. He played with us at the Jets. We hired him in our front office. Really bright guy. And I think philosophically, he likes to play man to man. And I think the fact that if you could load up at corner, that's a great way to build a defense really from the back to the front, especially in this year, the way the sport is going. So I think if you think about Aaron Glenn, his philosophical approach, adding depth at the corner position, to me makes a lot of sense.
That's fair. So to follow up with that, I'm sure you're well aware, and this is well aware that the Chicago Bears have a new GM and Ryan Poles, and it seems like he has a thought process of looking at offensive linemen. The Chicago Bears do not have a first-round draft pick this year, but they have 2 second-rounders. What do you think the Chicago Bears are going to do with those draft picks?
Yeah, well, obviously you hope Tevin Jenkins works out. He had a bad back, came in, obviously struggled with that a little bit. So hopefully if he gets better, that's a great start. And then, this draft has a lot of offensive linemen in it. I think a couple of them could fall second round. We'll see which ones, but it definitely starts up front. Look, they got a young quarterback in Justin Fields. They have to do everything within reason to make him work. And not only does Poles have that sort of background, but if you look at their head coach, Matt Eberflus, the foundation of those Colts teams the last couple of years were great offensive line. So I agree with that. I think that's an area that they're going to try to address.
Mike, any chance they use those 2 second-rounders to move up at all? I mean, there are a lot of teams that have stacked picks. The Packers have stacked picks now that they got a few from Vegas. So it's a draft that has, from top to bottom, a lot of teams with the ability to move up and down. How much of that from Chicago and other teams do you think we're actually going to see, or are a lot of people going to stay put?
I think if I was the Bears in year one, I would look for more for volume. And let's face it, when you look on the other side of the ball, their defense in some parts is getting older, certainly on the defensive line. They just lost Mack, for example, as well. So there's a number of different ways they could go. I don't think in year one of a program with a new head coach and GM, you have to move up. And, to me, this is all about field. So, again, an offensive lineman, somebody in your front seven, maybe another young wide receiver. There's a number of ways I think they could go.
So speaking to that, the Bears received 2022, the second round pick, and they also got a 23 6th-round pick. Do you think that they got a good amount for the Khalil Mack trade, in your opinion?
Well, context is everything, guys. Khalil Mack's a great player when he's healthy, but when you look at the salary cap resources, his age, and the other things you're going to try to do, I don't think when you're in a finite system of resources, you could certainly say like maybe they should got a little bit more, but they also saved a tremendous amount in salary cap space. So that's at least 2 more stars in my opinion. So I think that's something else you have to factor when you look at the trade.
Fair.
So,
fair.
Mike, you spent plenty of time in New York. They have a young quarterback in Zach Wilson that a lot of people seem to have already made some judgments on. Just give us a little summary of the current situation there. New York has a lot of capital in terms of draft picks and cap space. There's still a lot of people in New York who seem to be high on Zach Wilson. So what do you think of the direction that team is going in the next few years?
Yeah, I think the only grade you can really give Zach Wilson is a grade of incomplete. He's played 1 year. I think it's really important that the Jets get a big-time difference-making wide receiver. I had them in my mock taking Garrett Wilson from Ohio State, a player that only had 2 drops this past year. And to me, he could come in and be a frontline receiver. They have some other, I think, decent pieces. Braxton Barrios came on. I think Elijah Moore is going to be a good player. I think they need somebody that can win outside the numbers consistently. That'll give Zach Wilson a chance to be a good player. You look at, Vera Tucker. They signed Lincoln Tomlinson, drafted Mekhi Becton 2 years ago. So I think they put a lot of resources towards the offensive line. Now, to me, within the lens of making Zach Wilson better, I think a receiver is a good fit for them.
So Mike,
sorry, MJ, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna see, Mike. We really like asking people to tell some stories here. When we have offensive linemen on the show, we ask them about their favorite trash talking stories. So obviously, you did a lot of dealing as a GM. You made a lot of phone calls that people probably didn't hear about. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff you probably shouldn't talk about. But is there a certain phone call or a certain deal or something that is just like a special memory, maybe a deal you pulled off that you probably shouldn't have, or you didn't think you were going to be able to pull off that you did, that you still remember to this day?
We're talking about offensive lineman Larrabee Tunsil. Larrabee Tunsil was the number one pick, the number one guy on our board in 2016. Got to Miami, and we got a really good left tackle, Brandon Albert, and we were looking at a corner, maybe a defensive lineman, and Larrabee Tunsil, we did a lot of work on him. Great person, teammate, really tight with his mother, and he was a good person that made a mistake, and some people just passed on him. And with the 13th pick, we got the best player of the draft. And I was really proud of the organization because we had a great approach to our process. We had great reports on him. And even though it was something that was unexpected, we wound up getting what we felt was the best player in the draft at the 13th pick. And even though we had a good player at left tackle, we wound up getting a great one in Larrabee Tunsil.
Fair enough. So, speaking to that, Mike. So, I kind of want to get a little bit of a juicy story. So, who might be like the most difficult person you've had to have interactions with as a GM or manager of a football team? And you don't have to give a name, but you could just say, give us a good story about something that ended up happening during the course of your interactions with maybe a coach that you're like, okay, come on, man.
Look, there's honor in our business. I'm not going to sell anybody out, guys.
Fair. I love it.
I was privileged to be a part of it, and of course, you're going to have difficult conversations. But I there's nothing that I would share where, look, some deals work out, some don't. Sometimes you're disappointed how conversations end. That's part of the business. However.
Fair enough. I love it. And the respect factor, I appreciate that as a coach, and no, that's pretty cool. So that being said, though, in your experiences in the NFL, what were some of the stadiums, or what were some of the areas that you appreciated and loved like visiting? Was there one stadium in particular, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, Chicago? What were the stadiums that you always enjoyed going to?
I love rivalry, guys. Love it. And I spent most of my career. I was with the Saints for a bit. I was with the Browns for a bit, but most of my career was in the AFC East. So, any of those stadiums, Jet Dolphin games, I was on both ends of that. Jet Patriot games, going up to Buffalo was crazy. There was you got to go through the fans, big wins on the road in New England and playoff games, and just great memories up and down the East Coast. And I think that's one of the great things about our sport. You guys brought up, Chicago, Detroit, the NFC North is just loaded with, rivalries. What the Bears, Packers go back 100 years. Those places are just, treasures. And that's one of the many things that makes our sport so great.
Mike, one thing I'm curious about, you hear so many things during the offseason. Like right now, Packers fans are going crazy that DK Metcalf might be available. So I'm just curious, from somebody who's made plenty of phone calls inquiring about the availability of players, what exactly does that look like? Not to give away trade secrets, but if you think somebody might be available, how open and honest are GMs with each other? Will you just straight up call a GM and be like, hey, is this guy available? Or do you kind of go through other back channels before it's direct?
Yeah, I text everything from people you made hundreds with, and those are just different conversations that someone don't have a good relationship with. And, we got a sign that said every rock, every day. And basically, what that stood for us was we were going to be systematically more relentless than everybody else. And we were going to look for any and all opportunities. And, for every 10 phone calls you make, maybe 9 of them don't work out, but, then sometimes they do. And, for example, getting Brett Favre when we were at the Jets, that was about a month's worth of phone calls. Sometimes different times of the year, you can make one call and get a deal done. So, it's always about surplus and needs matching up at the end of the day.
So before our interview with you, Mike, I did some research on you, and I ended up finding out how you were the director of contract negotiations. Can you just speak to that position and how difficult that might have been, and how it actually helped you become a GM and it helped you be able to negotiate contracts?
Yeah, that was really just about getting my foot in the door with the New York Jets and Coach Parcells gave me an opportunity, and I really just helped with the salary cap and sort of like the administrative things that go along with running a team. And it was a great opportunity to be around guys like Coach Parcells, Coach Belichick.
So I have to ask, Mike, a lot of people on social media, especially when they're a fan of a team who is a little bit strapped when it comes to the salary cap, like to say things like the cap is fake or things like that. So can you speak to, as somebody who has worked relentlessly with the NFL salary cap, how much wiggle room is there really? And, you know, we've had teams like the Packers and Chiefs trade Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill seemingly because they couldn't or didn't want to pay them. So how many times do you really just straight up have to move on from a player solely because of the salary cap?
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, there's a lot been made of that. The cap is real. Eventually, you got to pay for every dollar you pay a player is going to hit the cap. Now, you know, teams like, I know, like the Saints or the Rams, people say like, oh, well, look, you know, they could always keep moving it down the road in terms of cap charges. And to a certain extent, that's true. But if you look at the Saints, for example, like they did lose Hendrickson a year ago to the Bengals. They lost Marcus Williams this year. So it does catch up to you, sometimes more pronounced than others, but it does eventually, all charges do hit your salary cap.
That's fair. There you go.
So Mike, real quick, one of our viewers right now asked a question. If you don't mind, I'm going to ask it for them. Their question is, who's your favorite player you've gotten to know?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say I'll answer that two different ways, guys. You know, I started off as an unpaid intern and worked my way up, and no one really handed me anything. And I think I just kind of,
it's awesome.
I just kind of resonate with people like that. We had a player who was a long snapper for us, James Dirth, and when we signed him, he had to work at a Home Depot during the off-season program just to make ends meet. He was one, and then I think Curtis Martin was the other. And the story about Curtis Martin, I'll never forget, is we signed him to a big contract at the Jets, $36 million for 6 years, which was, look, it's still big money today, but it was enormous money back then. And his mother comes in for the press conference, and I said to her, I said, you know, Miss Martin, are you guys going to go out and celebrate tonight? This is an incredible moment for you and obviously your entire family, you know, what your son's been able to accomplish in 3 short years in pro football. And she said that, you know, she runs a secondhand clothing store in Pittsburgh and had to get back to work, and that was more important than to go out to dinner. And I was thinking to myself, like, boy, that was like a great lesson of, you know, Curtis's work ethic and his sort of like consistency and approach to life clearly came from his mom. And it was just one of those moments I'll never forget where, you know, here's her son making truly like generational money and she's worried about getting back to work. And that I try to, you know, those sorts of things inspire me.
Yeah, it's super humbling, and that's actually really awesome too. I loved Curtis Martin as a player too, so hearing something like that is really cool.
I like that. Mike, last thing that I have here for you, I'm sure Bruce has something else as well. Really, I just want to know, you've done a lot on the NFL offseason for ESPN. You've done a lot for the draft. Just give me your favorite offseason acquisition for any team across the board.
You know, I like when teams, you know, attack their weaknesses. Like I look at like what the Chargers did, for example, guys. Like I'm a big believer in Justin Herbert. I think he's going to be super special.
So good. And
I just think when you look at not only just Khalil Mack, but Sebastian Jones-Day, J.C. Jackson, we'll see what they do in the draft. But I just like philosophically when teams attack weaknesses, and that was certainly something that I thought the Chargers did a great job of. And, you know, that's one of the great things about our sport, right? That the Chargers get a little bit better to close the gap on the Chiefs. Did the Chiefs get a little bit worse by, you know, losing Hill? And, you know, I think that's going to be a compelling pennant race, you know, come the fall.
Agree. Mike Tannenbaum from ESPN joining us for just a tiny bit longer. So, Mike, before we let you go, it is Masters season, and we have a tendency to ask questions other than pertaining to the sports that our guests love. Who do you got in the Masters this year?
Well, it's hard not to be inspired by what, you know, Tiger Woods did.
Yes,
I would say I think Dustin Johnson's probably like to be like maybe the best player right now, just in terms of ability. And I think what's going to be fascinating to me is what Tiger is. can he sustain for the next 4 days, given what he's dealing with. So, our country loves comebacks. I think what he's doing is just it's hard not to be in awe, candidly, of what he's doing. So, we'll see how it plays out over the next couple of days. But I know we'll all be watching.
I agree. Can you imagine after 2019 what he did and to go through what he has and to win it this year in 2022? It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It would be fantastic. Well, Mike, we really appreciate you coming on. I know your time is very valuable, so we're going to let you go. But once again, thank you for spending some time with us. We've had a great time, and we just really appreciate you hopping on the show with us.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike. Much appreciated.
All right, Mike Tannenbaum from ESPN out of here.
I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna stay.
Oh my gosh, Bruce is.
Dude, I wasn't gonna do it while he was on because I thought that would be rude. So I'm just gonna guess.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna
idea what it's
turn your camera back on. We're gonna take you out. I'm gonna put Richie in with me. Hi, Richie. How you doing?
Hi.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Richie, what do you think of Mike?
he was pretty dragged a little bit at the beginning, but he got better, I think, as the interview went on.
Wow, calling him out like that.
No,
it was good though.
He did.
Yeah. So.
Wow, Richie's been kind of an ass for the past two guests. Like we had Mike last week.
Yeah, you really ripped into Mike Ruiz, and now
listen.
Wow, okay.
Listen. That was out of love, Mike. Mike, if you're listening, I love you, buddy.
Oh, I 100% doubt Mike is watching this right now.
Either of them.
Right now. Yeah, right. At one point, it sounded like Tannenbaum was in the fucking bathroom, but whatever.
That man was absolutely walking around the halls of ESPN.
No,
absolutely.
You know what it sounded like? It sounded like he was like cooking something. I could have sworn I heard him open up like a stove, like an oven or something.
No, he was tapping an ID. Walking around somewhere. That's what that noise was.
Wow, you were so to get into the bathroom to take a deuce.
No, okay. Whatever.
I'm kidding.
Y'all are weird.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being on.
What a guy. Anyways, MLB opening day. We discussed this a little bit earlier. Bruce went to the Cubs game. It was great. They won. Go team. The Oakland A's still suck. We're not going to talk about that. However, it is time for our all too soon predictions that I have not prepared Bruce for whatsoever. So he's going to go Google some things real quick.
Actually, you know what's funny? Last night on Talking BS, Beers and Sports with Eric and I, we did give like a brief, very brief, because like we talked about beer a lot.
Right.
We gave a very brief thought of about our predictions. Excuse me. Woo! This year.
Oh boy. Also, just a very quick. I know that we've talked about this a lot. I don't want to get too repetitive, but you know how we talk about like Major League Baseball's marketing sucks, right? Just Absolutely. To show like how bad the problem is in baseball. I'm on Reddit, right? The NFL subreddit.
What's a Reddit?
2.9 million members. Okay? That's a lot. Major League Baseball has 164,000. The Los Angeles Rams subreddit alone has 401,000 members. The Reddit for illegal Major League Baseball streams has more members than the general Major League Baseball Reddit. And I know that that's like a really specific niche thing that doesn't inherently mean something to a lot of people, but it just goes to show that on like a social media where people actually do go crazy talking about their favorite teams and their favorite sports,
right? Major
League Baseball is just depressing as usual. Anyway, I want to go through division by division as we normally do to give our predictions. I know Bruce is not ready, and I do not care.
I'm ready.
Would you like to start with National League or American League?
I was to say AL East. I'm cool with that.
AL East. Bruce, who do you have?
Blue Jays.
I also have the Blue Jays as well. They made some very good additions. I think the Red Sox are going to be very good
Dude, that division is stacked with the Yankees,
always
Rays, and Red
stacked.
Sox. Like that, like it's
Yeah,
a tough,
and
it's a tough division.
the Rays are always good. The Red Sox and Yankees paid some more money to get some more people this year.
Yeah.
So they're just always going to at least hang around. They may not be incredible, but
Tampa's
they're at
got
least going to hang
pitching.
around for a 500 plus.
They got young pitching. So
Yeah, but I agree. My official prediction will be the Blue Jays as well.
same. All right, AL Central.
Central.
I have the White Sox.
I want to have the
I
White
still have them.
Sox, but their rotation is bad.
They are. Well, they're all
Their
hurt.
rotation is really bad. But even when they're not hurt.
True. Well, you have so you have like 3 legitimate starters in that rotation that's not hurt. However, you have a team that lineup can just mash the ball.
Right.
But
when it comes down to they can only hit so much, and when they have an off day, they have no protection really. They don't have a rotation that also matches up with a division that hits pretty well.
Dude, so
that's my biggest concern.
The Guardians. Sorry, the Guardians.
That one is gonna take longer than the Washington football team.
I agree. Well, they're not the Washington football team anymore. They are
the Commander. I'm saying when it was the Washington football, and now
they should have left that team.
The Washington football.
They should have left that team because I actually think that was kind of.
They really should have.
Anyway, I digress like always. But the Cleveland Indians. I'm sorry, Guardians. No, they're terrible. They're not going to be very good this year. And then who else do you got in that division? You have obviously the White Sox. You have the Twins.
The Twins are going to.
The Twins are okay. So I did not think the Twins were going to go as hard as they did in this offseason. I really didn't think that.
Yeah.
But no, I still have the White Sox winning it. I think the White Sox, that lineup is young, talented, and just absolutely filthy. I actually got into
I will give it to the White Sox, but I think the Twins are going to surprise some people. That's what I'll say.
AL wild card?
We're not going to talk about the West?
I mean, I'm just saying, no.
We're not going to talk about the West?
I was saying the Twins.
We're not going to talk about the West. We're not going to talk about the fact that nobody's going to come even close to the Houston Astros.
Yeah, no.
Because the Rangers, buns. The Angels, buns, as always. The A's traded everyone.
I do like the Mariners.
Might give them a little bit of a run for their money. They're going to win like 89 games. And they're going to be like 5-6 games out. It'll be close, and then they're going to get swept like the last series of the season and be like, yeah, you're trash. And then the Astros are going to win 94 games because they play the Rangers, Angels, and A's a bazillion times a year.
So
they're lucky.
So I'm moving on. AL wild card. There's 3 wild card teams this year.
There's 3?
There's 3 wild card. See, you're not.
Why do we have 3 wild card teams?
It's 7 teams qualify now, right? Isn't it 7? Isn't it 7 teams from each? That is
so
teams?
Stupid.
But I think it's 3. So that being said, Yankees. Oh, if I just had to throw it out. All right, Yankees. Ooh. Oh, can you imagine it being like
the entire AL East?
I was about to say, I really was. I was looking at it right now, and I'm legit. I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say it. Yankees, Red Sox, and Rays. Part of me want to go.
I'm actually gonna even it out.
Look at you.
I'm gonna even it out. It's gonna be Rays, Twins, and Mariners.
Twins. I like that. I actually do like that pick.
Yes.
To be honest with you. I like that pick.
Because the benefit the Twins have is the same benefit the Astros have, that they get to play a trash division all year.
And you clapped. You hear that, Richie? He clapped.
Yes. Oh, I'm heated when it comes to the A's right now, dude. They just pissing me off.
Who is the AL champion?
Oh gosh.
Way too early pick.
Tampa Bay Rays. Sigh, I don't want to hear it.
I love
do
it.
not want to
Hey,
hear
I love
bro.
it. I love it. For once, him and I are on the same side with this.
Oh
I'm
my gosh.
I'm picking the Blue Jays to win the AL. I actually in the show. All right, so in
Really, you're gonna
respect-
pick the Blue Jays already?
relax, and respect to what I chose last night in Beers and Sports with Eric. I will maintain my pick and be consistent and not be that guy and flip flop. I chose the White Sox to represent the AL in the World Series, so I'm going to continue with that. The White Sox,
Really?
the White Sox will be the AL champion.
The White Sox.
Actually, I think I picked them to lose, but whatever. We'll see what
The
happens.
no
I don't even
starting
remember.
rotation White Sox.
Yeah, but I also trust Rick Hahn.
I don't have anybody to pitch
I think
against
Rick
any of the
Hahn
White Sox.
I think Rick Hahn's a very good manager, and I think he does a very good job of what he
I
does.
have one starting pitcher to throw against Aaron Judge, Matt Chapman,
The
Vlad
question
Guerrero
is,
Jr.
do you even know who Rick Hahn is?
White Sox. Yes, I know who Rick Hahn is.
So anyway, NL East. This is too easy. Don't stop. Don't overthink this.
I'm going to go with the Washington Nationals. And you want to
you're
know
not.
why? It's because
No,
of
you're
somebody
not.
that Richie and I were talking about before the show.
Can we bet on this?
They have the X Factor. You want to know what his name is, Bruce? I'll give you one guess. Nelson Cruz. The 41-year-old legend. Now that the National League has
Are you
a designated hitter,
So if you were to
Nelson
bet
Cruz
money
is
on
about
this,
to go 40 big bombs in DC, and he's going to carry that team. The Braves are not going to repeat. They downgraded. I love Matt Olson with all my heart, but that man strikes out.
Are we serious right now? Are you really serious? You really think that
I
the
am dead
Nationals-
serious. I am
No, you're
looking
not.
you
That
straight
is-
in the eyes, Coach.
I'm
Bruce,
going to tell you
and
right
saying
now
the
that is
Washington
an
Nationals
absolutely
are going to win the
fucking
NL
terrible
East.
pick. Do we want to
40 big ones from
can
Nelson Cruz
can we-
in 2022.
40 ding dongs? Are we talking about
40 ding dongs, as Richie is saying in our ear.
So hold on, talk about. Do we want to bet on this? I'll totally bet.
We're
on
not.
it.
No, we're not going to remember. We can bet on it, but neither of us are going to remember this.
Richie can cut this, and he'll remember.
Richie won't remember. Nobody's going to remember. Cy in our chat is probably the only one.
I'm
who's
gonna
gonna
go
remember
Braves.
this.
I'm gonna go Braves. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go Braves.
Okay, you're going the basic
Chalk. I'm going chalk.
pick.
I'm going chalk.
Okay, cool. I'm proud of you. You'll be laughing when Nelson Cruz wins
Oh,
MVP
God.
out of the
If
NL.
if he does that, I will fucking chug a beer on air.
If he wins MVP or if he hits 40 home runs. I need to be clear right here because this I will remember. If he
Okay.
wins MVP or if he hits 40 home runs.
No, if the Nationals win the NL East.
Okay.
100%. All right, done. All right, NL Central. I actually so let me make this clear.
I have no idea.
I flat out will say this. The NL Central
I have no clue.
is absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
Flat out. It is terrible. The team that wins that division is going to have 88 to
Get
90 wins.
smacked.
And I said that, or like Eric and I talked about that last night. I genuinely do think that the Cubs have a chance to surprise people because of their respective division. Not because they're good, not because they could do anything outside of it, but because this division is absolute dog shit. The Brewers have a great rotation. 100%. I will not say that. Their bullpen.
They have Andrew McCutchen.
Oh, well, yeah.
Pirates legend.
Dude, by the way, he hit a freaking shot today. Not a home run, but he hit a freaking
You
seed.
could hear it.
He hit a seed today. When I saw that, I'm like, why is it always him? Why is it always him? But
He hits a lot of line drives.
He always owns the Cubs. Every time he plays against the Cubs, he owns the Cubs. So I was getting anyway. So I got upset. So that being said, I'm not choosing the Cubs to win the Central.
That's good because I would shame you.
That's fine. But I do think the Cubs could potentially surprise a lot of people. I'll put that on record right now.
Well, yeah, they're going to surprise people because the current prediction is 70 games.
Yeah. But I do actually think that the Cubs.
Okay, it was a big bag of potatoes. You're right.
Dude,
it was like a stock.
Oh, you already said
bag of potatoes.
I didn't see the Costco part. That's 100%. Hey, great minds, Cy, great minds. That being said, though, I'm going to unfortunately choose the Cardinals. Curveball.
I think,
Wow.
and Bruce, I'm going to agree with you. My gut reaction was the Cardinals. And I know it's going to make Cy really happy. That was my gut reaction.
I do
when
like.
you asked
Okay,
the
so
question, it was
I think the
Cardinals.
Brewers. I think the
However,
Brewers have a pitching rotation, but I don't think that. I don't know. I don't. I dare.
they don't have the offense to
Doesn't
keep.
scare me.
They're not well balanced enough, unless Yelich can return to MVP form because he was not good last year.
Dude, I was talking
If
so much
he
shit to him
is
today. It was
MVP
great.
Yelich, it's.
I told him to Google. I told him to Google third down Thursday. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, no, not really. He
Wait, what are you
was
talking about?
available enough.
No one hears
that he should have
Richie
put up
right
better
now.
numbers.
No one hears Richie.
Oh,
So you got to let them know.
that
real
still
quick, guys.
tripped me out.
So
Richie's asking if
Richie was
Yelich
saying
was hurt
Yelich
last
was
year.
injured
You're the
last year.
producer. You should tell me things, not ask me questions. Richie. Oh my gosh.
This is great. This is the reason why our show is amazing. Also, real
Absolutely.
quick, by the way, tangenting like a motherfucker. Why not? So today when I parked, I ended up giving out one of our T-shirts to a guy that I ended up like talking to, and he's like, wait, you do a podcast? I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, oh, it's called Third Down Thursdays. He Googled it real quick, and he's like, holy shit, you're famous, and I was like,
Wait, we're famous? What?
I don't think so.
I guess if you Google us when we show up, we're famous.
we show up, well, it's the first thing that pops up, so
I'd hope so.
that was kind of funny.
Okay, so
Anyway,
Yelich
back
played
on it.
117 games last year, so he wasn't uber available, but he was
Who says
available enough. Yeah. But also, availability is really big in baseball. So
Okay.
that's another, like, if he's available and playing well, then that is a different baseball team.
So what's the stat that that a lot of people talk about? Availability is one of the most important stats. Availability for I don't remember that bullshit cliche. Anyway,
reliability
best ability is availability. That's it.
Yes.
See, that's what producer in the ear said.
That's what a producer should
Bam.
do.
Thank you. All right, so NL West. Who we got? Dodgers by a landslide. I'm sorry.
Dodgers. Good talk.
All right. NL wild card picks.
Braves, Padres, Giants.
Okay.
NL Central is still trash.
Mets.
Yo, hold up.
Mets. Giants. Phillies. Oh!
So no, let's talk about this real
This is
quick.
good.
So I'm the psychopath for saying the Nationals, but you pull out not only the Mets, but another trash NL East team in the Phillies, and tell me,
dude, Phillies
Nick
outfield,
Castellanos,
Phillies outfield
and
is
there's
insane.
a shot into left field is gonna carry them.
Dude,
I don't care about Schwarber, Richie.
the great Schwarberski.
So you're telling me that
that
picking
outfield-
the Nationals for playoff contention in the NL East
time out.
is bad, and then you pick the
I didn't
Mets
say it was
and
bad.
the Phillies.
I did not say it was bad. I never said that. I was just shocked by it.
You were shocked and you shamed me.
I didn't shame you. I didn't
Yes,
say
you did. There was a slight shame.
I didn't say what the hell are you doing, MJ? We talked about ding dong.
40 ding dongs, Bruce. That's what Nelson Cruz is going to do. Who's going to hit 40 ding dongs on the Phillies? Bryce Harper? No. He's going to strike out 40 times.
Well, he's also that old school, like, what is it?
Home run or bust.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that, it's actually really cool. So we'll touch on that real quick. I like the fact that thought process is changing a little bit, and you're going to see a lot more people actually trying to fucking hit regular, like, hit into the field, like hit opposite and stop trying to pull the ball. If you see a shift, and you're not going to see a shift, but I guarantee you're still going to see a slight shift. You can't you
can't start on the one side of the base, but you can still run once the pitch.
Exactly. But you know what? You could start on your side of your position on the base, but then like if your second baseman to a right-handed hitter is shaded just barely to the batter's right or the right side of second base, that's basically a shift because you're playing straight up the middle. It's a shift.
It's still a shift.
It's still a
Yeah.
shift. I'm sorry. You're still gonna see it.
And if you play the third baseman at short in the hole, and then the shortstop in the same position, basically behind the pitcher,
right.
and then the second baseman and first baseman only, that's a shift.
Just to the side of second base because you gotta
standing this much away. Yeah, it's a shift.
It's still a shift. It's still a shift. People are gonna find that. People are gonna be able to.
Yeah,
you're gonna be able to do that. So I don't disagree. Okay, so someone made a comment. The Cardinals do not have enough pitching, and to be honest with you, I don't disagree. But I actually think.
But I think they're the best out of
that division. I'm sorry, it's absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the W flag. There you go. Wrong hand. You see the W flag. You see the World Series flag right here for the Cubs. I am a huge Cubs fan. I love the Cubs. But man, dude, I just.
But you're also very realistic when it comes to that team, which is not true about the Bears sometimes. So it's impressive.
Okay, I can say the same thing about you and the Packers and you and the Warriors. Okay, calm down there, buddy.
I am much more unrealistic about the Warriors than I am the Packers. Thank you very much. Which leads me into the next thing we have to talk about. Look at that transition.
Wow.
Go team.
Professional.
NBA playoff picture. I don't even know. The Lakers are eliminated. That's all I really
love that,
about.
By the way. I absolutely love it. All right, let's talk about this. This is good. All right, we're gonna adjust this.
We're gonna get ready. The one thing I do want to mention first is Lonzo Ball out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. All right, so, and I think you can agree to this. We Eric and I and me and you are working on getting Rob Schaefer back on one of the shows.
Yes.
That being said, though, I don't think this Bulls team, and I don't know if you've seen our episodes of Beers and Sports, but I don't think this Bulls team is the same team without Lonzo Ball at all. Not in the least.
No,
bit.
not at all.
Because so not speaking to just his defense, but speaking offensively and what Billy Donovan wants to do. He just does like I described the Chicago Bulls last night as a boat with no rudder. And that's exactly what they are right now without Lonzo Ball on this basketball team. And I'm going to say it right now, too. I think Booch is a great player or a good player on a shit team, but he is a mediocre at best player on a contending team. That's all I'm saying.
I have a comparison for you, and I'm interested
Carlos Boozer.
What you think of this. No, not for him, for Lonzo.
Okay.
I'm going to compare Lonzo, and I might get a lot of crap from this, especially from you, but I'm going to do it anyway. No, I'm going to compare Lonzo to Rajon Rondo.
I don't think you can.
Oh, okay, I'm going to.
Well, okay, hold on. Talking about offensively, if you want to compare him offensively to Rajon Rondo,
he's Rondo with a better 3-point shot.
Way better. He was
I know.
He was elite this year from the shooting.
Right. He's Rondo with a 3. So when you lose Rondo with a 3, it absolutely cripples you. You lose your key playmaker on the offensive end. You lose your defensive captain.
If we can get Lonzo Ball to be a Hall of Fame, and I'm going to say that Hall of Fame player in Rajon Rondo, 100%. I would love that. I would love that. The problem also,
I think if you put him in the right situation and the same situation for an extended period of time, he could average similar numbers.
He's still only 24 years old, right?
Right. Yeah, he's still really young. He got drafted in 2018. That was a one and done.
He was 19 or 20.
So he was 19 or he was 19 or 20. So yeah, he's only max maybe 25. So he's still entering his prime.
All right, so here's my question.
Rich says it's 24.
Here's one of the questions that we talked about last night in the show.
Lonzo has a kid, Richie?
Zoe?
His kid's name is Zoe. Okay, that's weird. Continue, Bruce. Cool.
But no, so one of the questions that we talked about yesterday on the show was, do you run it back with this team healthy?
No.
I would. 100% I would. 100% I would.
I would not, because
The only person the only person on this team right now that I have reservations about is Vooch. That's it. Everybody
I have
else.
reservations about DeMar DeRozan.
Okay, so I see that. So this
Because
is like
he
a
has
one
never
weird
produced
year.
at this level.
Okay, that's fair.
He's producing at
Fair.
this level in a very specific environment. When
Okay,
you change
that's fair.
any of the pieces, they're not going to be able to bring back the entire team. It's not going to be the same.
Right.
And I highly doubt that DeMar DeRozan in back-to-back years, when he's never, ever, ever been an MVP candidate, is going to do that again. And
I'm actually kind of curious about their contract situation.
Like contract situations?
That's what I'm looking at right now. We both No, okay, so DeMar I think is what, 33?
Sounds about right. 33, 34.
Correct me if I'm wrong. 33, 12 years in the league. He's 32, so he'll be 33 next year.
Yeah.
Still, like, you might get one to two more years potentially out of him like this. And I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah, right. I'm not saying get rid of him. But
Fair.
if you can find a team that's a little, let's put it this way. DeMar DeRozan is the oldest player on a still very young basketball team.
They're one of the youngest teams.
So
in
if
the NBA.
I could find, I don't have a trade in my head. I don't have a scenario that I'm thinking of specifically. But if I could find a team that has a couple really good young pieces that I could flip DeMar DeRozan for.
Utah Jazz, go after, let Zach LaVine walk and see what you can do with Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, so then you beg the question, would you rather have Donovan Mitchell or Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan?
See, but that's tough too, though, because you have. So I actually think that, like, I still haven't seen Zach LaVine in the playoffs. I've seen what's the spider, what the spider does in the playoffs, because like he goes
crazy.
He's an absolute beast. But again, you also have Rudy Gobert in that team on that team who is able to rim protect, and I think the Bulls are one rim protector away. So again, that takes me to, I think Gobert is available after this year. I have to double check on that.
So do you keep everybody but Vooch?
Or you keep Vooch because he's under contract, and if you can somehow finagle something to get bring Gobert on this team and start Vooch at the 4 and go from there.
I don't know about that.
Hey, that's his pipe dreams, dude. It doesn't matter. I'm just saying, like, you never know. But that'd be something that'd be awesome because you trade a few draft picks and you never know what could happen with that. But no, it'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. Someone actually asked in the chat, Richie, I'm sorry, I'm going to do your job for you. Somebody asked in the chat what my thoughts are on the Bulls in the playoffs without Lonzo. It's sorry, buddy. Genuinely, dude, it's tough, man. Like, I don't think it's going to go very well. I originally had the
You
Bulls.
thinking first round exit?
I originally had the Bulls as a second round exit. Right now, I have them as a first round exit, unfortunately.
Because right now they're playing the Bucks.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And without Lonzo,
and they're gonna get smacked.
Oh, dude, they're gonna get shit on. 100%. They're gonna get slapped from here to Milwaukee. But anyway.
I hate Richie.
Yeah, it's not good. I don't like it. I'm not a huge fan of it. Yeah, it's not good. If I was a betting man,
which you are very much a betting man,
I would put money on the Bucks. If that was
everyone's going to put money on the Bucks.
But
breaking news: people are going to put money on the defending NBA champions.
I don't think they're
against the Chicago Bulls without one of their top 3 players. Wild.
All right, so here's my. Oh, well, fair enough. Well, that's actually pretty cool. That's actually funny that you said that. Is Vooch? Do you think? And this is from your outside perspective. Do you think Vooch is a top 3 player on this team? No.
Who would be third? Wait, LaVine, DeRozan, Vooch.
What?
Who's going to be third?
So right now on this team,
You're
I would
taking Caruso or
no, I would take
Io
Ball.
or
I'm taking Ball over him.
yeah. Oh,
I'm taking
in
Ball over
a
him.
vacuum, if you ask me who I'd rather have, I'd probably take Lonzo, but it's
Yeah.
close.
Nah, not
It's
not.
close.
After seeing the work that I've seen from him, I mean, it goes back to what's been talked about before. If you have a player that drops 30 and you're able only to drop 15, you know what I'm saying? And that's a very rudimentary. That's a very rudimentary thing. But if you're plus minus, if you want to go that far, if you want to say you're per or whatever, I don't give a shit.
Right.
But yeah, so that like genuinely, that's my thought. I think the Bulls are a one and done. But the nice thing is they're going to be able to be a part of the playoffs. They're going to be able to do something in the playoffs. So 100%, Cy, 100%. Yes. Yes.
No, you're right.
Yes. But from a potential standpoint, 100%, which is also the reason why you put Vooch and you put Patrick Williams in the same exact fucking trade and you try to do something with that. I'm sorry.
No, I agree. So
Oh, no, I don't.
they would have at least been playing.
I think the Lakers would have been a lot better. This Lakers team would have been a lot better 10 years ago.
Well, yeah. But also the Clippers were still 40-40 without Kawhi and PG all year. So a lot has to do with the rest of the roster and the coaching as well. You can't ignore
but I don't
that.
think. But I don't think Frank Vogel's a bad coach. Do you think Frank Vogel's a bad coach?
He's not the coach there anymore, my guy.
Oh shit! Who is their coach right now?
It's Ty Lue.
Oh, it is Ty Lue.
Wait, no, not Ty Lue.
This is awesome.
Wait, is Ty?
Yeah, it is
Frank Vogel still the coach?
Okay, so all right, my guy.
Why?
Fuck that shit. I actually like Frank Vogel. I think.
Oh yeah, Ty Lue's in the Clippers. Sorry.
So, but no, but in anyways though, I actually do like him, but he's gonna get blamed for what's happening, and I get that. I understand that. What's up, puppy? Puppers is saying hello right now.
Puppy.
We got Booth. We have both Duke and Lady down here right now. But anyway. But yeah, no, I'm not a LeBron hater by any means whatsoever. I actually think he's like what he's done in his career is absolutely amazing. What he's done this year, the fact that he's averaged 30 points a game.
Yeah,
he's an absolute stud. But excuse me, I think there's excuse me again. I think there's gonna be major changes. I think. Whoa, what's going on?
Are you okay, Bruce?
Need to get a hold of myself. I'm sorry, I'm getting a little excited.
Why did I just get full screen? This is not fun.
That wasn't me. That was the producer.
I don't like this. I never in my life do I want my face to be the focal point of this show. Let's just make that clear right now, Richie.
Hey. Listen, I wanted to
mute yourself on Zoom, first of all. Second of all.
Listen, you bring me in.
Producer here, my guy.
You bring me in unexpected. How am I supposed to know? Okay, number one. Number two, he was dying over there, so I wanted to give him a chance to get a hold of himself. Number one, you're beautiful, so I wanted to get that full, immersion of your beautiful face. Thank you. Goodbye.
Wow.
And this is why we can't have nice things, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the reason why, shenanigans. Anyway, so Lakers, I actually think Lakers should be better. I think LeBron's an absolute stud. The question was asked in the chat right now: who's better, LeBron or MJ? This is opening up a whole can of worms, and we're not
going to open that up. I don't even get heated about that one.
Whoa! Hold on, time out. All right, no, okay, no,
we're not. I just wanted to piss you out. Don't bring me in here.
Yeah. What'd you say in my ear? Richie?
LeBron's better statistically. Just saying.
He's not wrong.
In every statistical category, he's better. Just saying. But
I would take MJ 1,000 times over LeBron.
It's not what he's saying. He's saying LeBron is statistically a better basketball player.
Better. Okay, so Karl Malone is statistically a better basketball player than MJ.
Okay.
Okay.
But
we already had this conversation with Tom Brady. You take rings above everything, so we don't need to have this.
The question is, though, who's better, LeBron or MJ? And he's statistically better than MJ, which therefore makes him better than MJ. Adios.
I'm taking MJ. Who has more rings?
I just told you were going to use that. Use the same thing with Tom Brady. It's slightly more applicable in basketball because there's 5 people on the court versus 22 on the field.
Time out. Like I love this. Bringing Tom Brady into this. Come on.
We're not gonna get started on this.
So if we're gonna talk statistically,
we're not gonna get started on this.
We're not gonna get started on Tom Brady's the best quarterback of all time, though.
We are not going to get started on this. You just said it. We're talking about basketball. Whoever asked that question in the chat is fired, and we're gonna keep going with our NBA playoff predictions. We are not gonna.
You just said statistically, MJ or LeBron is better because of the statistics. So that being said, Brady is.
You use rings and BS emotional leadership crap with Tom Brady. I don't want to hear it. Okay. Do you want to do the Western or the Eastern Conference first, Bruce? We are not going to do this tonight.
I love it. Okay. Anyway, so this is what I love about you, dude. Richie, you started that shit. Anyway, so anyway, NBA playoff picture, Western Conference. Who you have representing?
What? Say that again. I was reading the chat.
I said NBA playoffs, Western Conference. Who you have representing?
Western Conference. Ooh. So I will say the finals is going to be Phoenix Golden State. That's going to be the finals. Don't believe in Memphis. Don't believe in Dallas. Utah and Denver have already shown they're not there. Don't believe in Minnesota whatsoever. None of the playing teams are really going to make any noise.
Yes.
That being said,
I love her.
Until I see the Golden State Warriors play a playoff basketball series with their entire team healthy, I have to pick the Phoenix Suns. They are by far and away the best team in basketball this year.
Statistically,
they have performed the best team in basketball. I'm going to smack you in the face next time I see you. And just across the board, Chris Paul has killed the Warriors in crunch time in every game they played them this year. That man has gone absolutely wild.
He's old as shit.
Him. So are you.
Well, I'm not saying I wasn't.
You're probably born in the same year.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm older.
Chris Paul is
30. I'm gonna guess 34. I'll say 34,
36.
35. 35. All right,
36.
Good call.
Let's go.
Anyway. But all right. So Suns. I agree with that. I actually was going to pick the Suns. Part of me wanted to do a futures bet for the Warriors to win the NBA title, but I don't know. I have to watch them more. But if we're going to do this right now, I'm going to choose the Suns to represent the Western Conference. And the Eastern Conference is a little bit more difficult, to be honest with you.
I don't think it's more difficult.
It's more difficult.
It's not.
It's not. It's not. Man, dude. I'm sorry. I actually like the Bucks, dude, but at the same time, though, I just wanted to have a little bit of parity. And to be honest with you, I think Brooklyn could surprise some people after that play-in.
Brooklyn ain't gonna do anything.
I'm gonna go Bucks. Bucks, Suns, NBA Finals.
I'm also gonna go Bucks. It's not a question. They are the one team.
They have everything.
They have everything. They have a dominant defensive guard, Drew Holiday. They have a pure scorer, Chris Middleton, and they have the most dominant player, the MVP of the National Basketball Association, in Giannis,
Dude,
They
the fact he
have
can
it
go
all.
left, he can go left now. He can shoot the three while not
He can
super
shoot. No, he
consistent.
can shoot step back three.
Right.
Did you see
Yes,
in the
I
game
did.
against Brooklyn with the game on the line?
He hit
The
the
man
step
just
back.
casually crosses back, steps back from
Oh,
three.
God.
Didn't even look difficult. It
I don't know.
actually looked
It's
more
scary.
fluid than him
It's
driving to
scary.
the basket.
Can we touch on this real quick?
Terrifying.
He's going to be MVP this year, I think.
He should be MVP for like the next 4 years. He's going to be like LeBron, where he statistically is going to have the best numbers every year,
Like
and it's
Luka.
just going to be so ridiculous.
Like Luka. Luka's got some crazy ass awesome numbers too. Actually, Eric wants to
You are
jump
just
on.
trying to get me
Eric
heated
wants
in the
to
last.
Eric wants to jump on
2
and talk
minutes
to
of
you
our
about
show.
that, by the way. Eric wants to jump on and talk to you about that.
Oh my gosh.
He's a bit. Hey, dude, I'm a big Luka guy. I love Luka. I think Luka's a stud.
That's because you love seeing another slow white guy succeed in the NBA.
Hey, all right. Well,
'Cause
let's
you-
check.
you
hold on,
relate to him.
Before, hold on, time out. Well, yeah. But before we leave, what are the MVP odds right now for the NBA? I like how we have our producer laughing while I'm sitting here trying to. Oh, he's
No,
breathing.
I'm the one laughing.
Oh, he's breathing kind of hard too.
Yeah, Richie's really struggling.
2, 3,
Producing
4,
is really hard for him physically.
So right now, Luka is actually the 5th best chance to win the MVP.
Okay, that's because who else is on that team? Dwight Powell.
And what's their record?
I believe it's the same as the Warriors.
50-30.
They're
Dude,
like a half
the
game
fact that
behind the Warriors.
the fact that the Mavericks have nobody else on that team, and he has that team at 50-30 with nobody else, no one, that speaks volumes. Richie, run the credits.
That's Spencer Dinwiddie, Bruce. Spencer Dinwiddie.
Oh, Spencer. Yeah, Spencer.
Jalen Brunson, Illinois native.
Hey, MJ.
Yes, Mr. Bruce.
Appreciate you, dog. Good shit, Richie.
Love you.
Hey, we got NBA playoff picture. Good job, producer.